Good day and welcome to inderesTV. We are at the Wärtsilä's headquarters and here with me is the company's CEO Håkan Agnevall. Wärtsilä released today its third quarter result and we're going to talk about Wärtsilä's performance and other topics related to Wärtsilä. But without further ado, welcome Håkan.
Thank you.
To the interview.
Thank you.
Nice to see you once again.
Yeah, nice to see you too as well.
Let's start with the highlights. What were the highlights?
So I think the third quarter was a good quarter. We are going in the right direction. If we start with sales, so sales up 18%, so we continue to grow our sales. Profitability is improving, actually up 41%, so we came in at 10.3% EBIT. And cash flow continue very strong, close to 300 million euro. Order intake, we grew organically with 4%, but of course storage had a low order intake in third quarter. However, we have also been very clear that this was a kind of periodization topic. I mean, certain orders moving from Q3 to Q4, so we still expect a strong order intake for storage going forward.
So you mean the outlook is still positive for Wärtsilä?
Clearly. I mean, when we gave our demand guideline, we give a guidance for the coming 12 months, and we gave the guidance both for energy and marine that we see demand environment that will be better than the previous 12 months. So positive outlook overall.
Yeah, yes. You have stated that equipment deliveries in the second half of the year will grow faster than service deliveries, and this is affecting to your operating margins, perhaps, if I assume right. So, on the other hand, over time, equipment sales should drive to service growth also. So, could you elaborate a bit this dynamics?
Yeah. So we communicated that already in Q2 that we expected the second half of the year we would have a higher share of new build compared to services. We are growing both new build and services, but new build is actually growing faster. And margins is on new build is lower than on services. This is also part of what we communicated before. And now in Q3 we have been seeing it playing out. So it is as expected. And long term, I mean, to your point, or mid to long term, I would say this is positive because after new build comes services. Normally there is a time lag of a couple of years. So it's not like you translate new build to services over a quarter or even a year. It takes a couple of years. But I think with the new build sales that we are having now and the order intake and the strong position we have both in marine and energy, we are really building a base for a service business a couple of years down the line.
Yeah. Growth in service business is, of course, one of the key elements in Wärtsilä. And earlier we have discussed many times about how you are moving up to the service value ladder. But yet we haven't talked about so much about competitive advantage on service side. So what are these from your perspectives?
So I think, first of all, we have the industry-leading service network. I mean, we have thousands of people working all over the world servicing accounts, and it's actually the biggest service network in the marine industry. Yeah. So that's one clear advantage, and the second element, I would say, where we have invested heavily, is on our digital solution space, and that is actually our investments in digital. It enables our fourth step of the service value ladder. We talk about the first step being the transactional spare part business. Second step is the agreement business. Third step is the retrofit. And fourth step is the performance. And performance-based, we entered into a new performance-based agreement with Royal Caribbean this quarter. We talked about it. It's really, using data and working very closely with the customer to provide uptime, reliability, and fuel savings, and then share the benefits of that. So digital is really, really key. So I would say our leading service network in digital. Then to build a great service business, I think it's resting on three pillars. One pillar is a great product, and we have quite a few great products. Second is great people. And we have a lot of great people in Wärtsilä. And the third is a great culture. And if you can get the product, the people, and the culture, that's the kind of secret resource. And that is also makes this business resilient. Yes, pirates can copy some of our products, but they cannot clone our people, and we all know how difficult it is to build a good culture.
Yeah.
So this tripod is really fundamental of our service business. It's a competitive advantage of our service business.
Yeah, that's good to hear, and I agree with you. Impact of the shipyard capacity constraints in marine, it's a major topic at current moment, and Clarkson raised its forecast for global ship orders in 2024. However, due to shipyard capacity constraints, delivery times will be record long, if I have understood correctly. So how do you see the current situation and the timing of new orders deliveries, when these orders will be delivered?
So basically, if you look at where we are right now on shipbuilding capacity, we are about 70% of the peak level in 2011. 2011 was when the shipbuilding capacity peaked worldwide. So we had 70%. Clarkson makes the estimate that at 2030, the shipyard capacity, it will go from 70 to 85%. So the capacity is building up. Now, really interesting. If you look at that growth, 3/4, 75% of the growth will come in China. So it's really Chinese shipyard capacity ramping up. And we can see it's coming. We can also see that Chinese shipyards, they are moving into segments where they have not been so active before, for instance, LNG carriers. So, but I think it will not be the frenzy that we have, for instance, between 2008 and 2011, because then there was an explosion of shipbuilding capacity and people got burnt when the industry turned after 2011. So there is a steadily increase of shipbuilding capacity, and it will continue to grow. Still, lead times are longer than normal. Price levels are also higher than normal. And I think we will see that as part of the industry dynamics going forward. Now, for us, it's still a good business, driven by two major factors. One is our core segments, so cruise, ferries, offshore, and some of the specialty vessels, so to say.
Yeah.
Those segments are growing faster, and we now see, for instance, in cruise, a pickup in new, giving orders for vessels, for new big cruise ships, and hopefully this will translate to orders to Wärtsilä later on. So that's the first growth avenue. The second growth avenue, still with a constrained shipyard capacity, is of course our decarbonization journey. I mean, it is we are growing our market share in auxiliary engines with alternative fuels, and then on top we have the retrofit business, and the retrofit. There are 100,000 of large vessels out there in the world. Not all will be kind of upgraded, but there will be a significant market when owners are looking at to comply with the carbon intensity index of IMO 2023 and going forward, so to say. So even the general outlook from Wärtsilä is positive.
Yeah. Then there were many questions about storage business, energy storage business, earlier this day when you conference call, and I want to ask about the competition at the moment. So you earlier have stated that you are among top 3 players in this market, storage markets, and now the position is about 6th or 7th. So explain me what has happened that you have lost your market share.
Yeah. So I mean, we have lost market share, but the numbers there, one needs to be careful because there are so many different statistics. So we get a little bit different market shares depending on which house that has made the analysis. But we have lost market share. And if you look at the overall market, because we have had a very focused strategy in terms of which customer segments and markets we want to be focusing on. And if you look at market, we have really focused on US, Australia, UK, and a couple of other countries in the world. And when they look at customer types, I think our value proposition is really about being able to deliver on time, execute with consistency. We have the industry-leading thermal safety. We haven't had any fires. And we really have, given our Wärtsilä heritage, we are really strong in power system understanding and how to integrate the battery storage with different generating assets in the power systems. So we are not the cheapest one in the market. So that's why we focus on certain customers, we focus on certain geographies. And I think we are making progress there. We are building the profitability. But this battery storage is exploding.
Yeah.
And there are certainly customer segments where our proposition is not favored, and there are certain geographical segments where we are not focusing. So that's why we have lost a bit market share. As I said, we still see the storage business, our storage business growing, and I think we are on a positive trajectory when it comes to profitability.
Yeah, but you're still a relevant on the. You're still a relevant player on the relevant market for you.
For those, I mean, if you ask our core customers and this type customer segment that I've been describing, we are highly relevant still, I would say.
Yeah, it is almost a year, or today it's perhaps a year when you started a strategic review what comes to the energy storage business, and investors are keen to know what's going to happen when we finally get info about that. So I have to ask these questions once again. Why that takes so long?
No, so I mean the narrative is still the same. First, why we are doing it. We have grown the business to $1 billion. It's now profitable, and we do see ample growth opportunities. And then we, together with the board, we have had this discussion. We need to look at how do we fuel this growth in the best way for customers, but also to create shareholder value. And under that work, we will look at different ownership alternatives. And I receive a lot of questions from external stakeholders, like you said, but also from internal stakeholders. And I understand that, and it's perfectly understandable. But we don't have any new information. There is a lot of work ongoing, and of course, as soon as decisions have been made, we will communicate it. But until the decisions have not been made, we cannot communicate. So unfortunately, this is the situation we're in.
Yes.
But we are. There is intense work ongoing, I must say.
Yeah, I understand. This is a quote from one analyst. Storage transparency is relatively low, which adds extra widening to forecast ranges and raise the risk level. So could you do more and increase transparency in energy storage business?
Well, everybody can, of course, have their view. I think these days we are, I mean, fairly open with the the quarterly order intake, the quarterly sales, also with the profitability. So I would say, if you compare with 1 year ago, we are clearly more transparent.
Yeah.
And I think for analysts to run their models, they have a lot of the information. Then, of course, strategic review, there is a lot of questions, but coming back, as soon as we made the decision, of course, we will communicate.
Yes. Then one question related to AI. So AI, it's booming already. Data centers are current pillars of AI boom. So if I have understood rightly, this might give you some kind of chances or opportunities. So tell me more.
So basically, first I should say we are still early in this phase.
Yeah.
So let's see how it evolves. But the logic is the following. I mean, if you go back a couple of years, and people were building data centers, they had a power need maybe for 5, 10, 20 megawatts. And then a feasible way was that if you wanted to build a data center, you went to utility and say, I want to purchase 10 megawatts from you and hook up to the net. And that was, you could reasonably quick in many countries in the world, you could get access. Now, as data centers have been increasing in size, and that is even further fueled by AI, because as we all know, AI takes a lot of data crunching capability, a lot of storage. So AI centers, the power need has now moved up to hundreds of megawatts. I mean, you could say increasing a factor of 10 of the amount of energy you need. And now when the data centers, they go to the utility, say, I want to hook up 100 megawatt, then the utility says, wow, this is a lot of power. Yeah, maybe come back in 5 to 10 years, because we need to build the power lines, and hooking up is not so easy. And now the data center providers, they start to think that we need to generate our own power. And since we are talking about this 20, 30, 100, 200 megawatts, this is right in our sweet spot. And that's why we see the market shifting into a power window, which is really suitable for Wärtsilä. On top of that, many of the power developers, they want to have green energy. And then, they are considering, renewables, and then we get balancing power because the data center needs to run even if the sun is not shining in Finland or if the wind is not blowing, and then you need the balancing power. So this looks promising, and the concrete orders we have so far is on Ireland. We have a partnership there, and that is evolving. So it looks promising. US very interesting, but of course we still need to take the first orders.
All right. Then final question, and this is related to portfolio business. I guess that we haven't talked about that so much, and of course there's a clear reason, but overview of the current portfolio business situation. What is the
So we have 4 business units there.
Yeah.
I mean, ANCS, which is automation, control and navigation systems. It's a marine electrical system integrator business. It's a gas solutions business, and it's water and waste. They are all separate business units with their own kind of business logic. They're all going to be divested. It's very public. What we have also said that some of these business units, they have been loss-making. So we really wanted to spend time to turn them around and, put them in a good position before we divest to find good owners. And that is what is ongoing now. And you can see it also if you look at portfolio business, profitability is actually improving. And that's good because we are positioning these businesses for sale.
Yeah. So can you comment anything about what of these businesses are closest to divestment?
No, there I can't, because this is also ongoing discussion. We have said the time frame is a couple of years when we're gonna divest these businesses.
All right. That was my final question. Thanks for your time once again.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.